So we just got back from visiting Paul Talley. He is a fig growing enthusiast and a member, as am I, with the California Rare Fruit Growers, and I'm putting that link down below at C.R.F.G.org. I encourage you guys to check it out, and for those of you in Southern California, hopefully I'll get to meet you at one of those meetings later on this year, as they get together on average once a month. For those of you that have been following us since February 1st for the announcement of what is now our third annual fig cutting giveaway, you will see behind me that all of those bags of fig cuttings are now gone, and we're limited now to Kevin's Cadota figs. I was fortunate enough to receive a call just yesterday from Paul, and he invited me to his home garden today, which we just returned from, and I'm proud to share that he's offered, check out all of these cuttings of another highly desirable fig variety known as Marseilles Black VS, and I'm writing that right here in the description as well, down here below. In addition to, he also made available what's even more highly desired are these Figo Preto cuttings. And he's going to be explaining to us that with these, even though they do root by way of cuttings, they typically have greater success by way of grafting. And so these are typically sold for significantly more than some of the other varieties of fig cuttings. So for those of you that are more on the pro level or having success for, hopefully multiple years with taking fig cuttings and rooting them, hopefully you can exercise your best techniques on rooting this Figo Preto variety. We're going to be saving one cutting here for the garden. And just to let you know that these will only be offered for those of you that participate on social media. The contest rules will be announced towards the end of this video. So I want to apologize in advance for the quality of the video that's to follow, as it didn't have the best equipment for recording Paul, and I promise you in lessons that we're going to have back in his fig orchard later on this year, I'll be prepared with better equipment so that we can capture better the essence of his magnificent and beautiful fig orchard. For all the orders effective February 18 of 2020, for those of you that are participating in the fig cutting giveaway contest, whether it be through the social media contest, or if you're buying one of the discounted bags of the 6 Macros Plus fertilizers, in addition to the trio box, if you're buying the smaller bags, just to let you know, it comes with one cutting, and if you buy the bigger bag of fertilizer, the 4-pound bags, it comes with two different varieties of fig cuttings. But I just want you to know, for all of the orders starting again February 18 of 2020, it's going to include one of the black, actually again it's called the Marseilles Black VS, for all purchases on the discounted 6 Macros Plus fertilizers, in addition to whether they be super or premium blend, in addition to the trio boxes that are discounted in the month of February, you'll be receiving one cutting at least of the Marseilles Black VS variety of fig, in addition to one other random variety from the collection. Just to let you know that the highly desired yellow long neck fig are gone. I'm saving the last cutting again of this yellow long neck fig, which we got from Edgar Valdivia's home orchard. We're saving this one so that together later on in the next couple of days, we're going to do a grafting video, and this is going to be one of the figs that we're going to be grafting. And again, I want Paul to take credit for this, that we're going to be, he was asking me, how many figs do you have as a footprint in your garden? And I said, only one, but on that one, I've got 10 varieties of figs. And he said, it's time for you to put down another one. So he really inspired me to start another footprint, meaning another in-ground fig variety. We're going to be selecting something with a lot of vigor and strength so that everything we graft onto it will more likely than not take. And so that's something we're going to start doing together starting this week. And stay tuned for that. Well, let's get going. Off to Paul Talley's fig orchard. Follow me. Hi, my name is Charles Malky, biologist and plant expert with Ivory Organics, where we grow cool plants. And today we're at the home of Paul Talley, who is a member of the California Rare Fruit Growers here in Los Angeles. And he opens his home and his fig orchard among many other varieties of fruit trees he's growing here on his property. Hoping to share a few with you shortly. But we're here in front of one of your most sought after fig trees, and we're here to collect some cuttings for the annual fig cutting giveaway. Tell us a little bit about it, Paul.
This is a A Marseilles Black VS. Actually, it's a common fig. Most people who collected figs, this is probably one of the first ones in their collection. Cold hardy, very vigorous, productive, and here in California, it will hang fruit. Well, it'll hang fruit. I've had it hang fruit until December. It does not require caprification. It's a common fig. But if it does get caprified, on some occasions, I've had these figs actually come out tasting. And you know, if I could bottle this, I would do it. I mean, it would probably be the only fig in my collection. But I had in the last years about 5 of them that actually had banana and vanilla undertones to them. And you know, when you taste something like that, you're going, "Oh, what was that?"
So the overall flavor, and again, I just want to make sure it's called the Black Marseilles.
Black Marseilles, VS.
And then VS.
Yeah, VS stands for Vasil, who was the guy who made it popular and distributed it. And you know, now this is a very common fig across the country, and particularly back east because of its cold hardiness.
So it's a black variety, berry flavored, but you said undertones, vanilla and...
if it's caprified, and I've had a couple like that. Maybe
Got it,
5,
under ideal condition.
Yeah.
So here we are, in regards to caprification, that basically means pollination. It's a self-fertile variety, meaning it will produce fruit without pollination between other fig varieties. But some figs require caprification or fertilization with other fig varieties in order to produce fruit. And we actually did a lesson together about 2 years ago, and I'm going to put that video link down below, where we discussed for about 30 minutes to an hour the pollination between a lot of the original fig varieties that were brought here to Southern California. And we introduced the fig wasp as well, right? It didn't naturally exist here, but we brought it from the Middle East, where I guess the figs were, you know, undergoing natural pollination, caprification between female and male figs. Whereas now the most common fig varieties you'll find sold by nurseries are those that are self-fruitful without the requirement of pollination, or as Paul just mentioned, caprification.
Yeah, I mean, the most common ones, the common varieties, you know, you got your blackjack, you know, all the common ones don't require caprification. So today I'm going through here and I'm just doing a pre-cut because this tree is going to be grafted to, it's basically going to turn into a Franken tree. That's going to have a bunch of different striped stuff on it. Martica ramata, you know, just all striped stuff that I've got here.
So the striped stuff I sometimes refer to as like variegated figs, right? Where it's like a multicolored fig. The one most popular, most discussed is the Panache tiger fig, which we had a lot that we gave away earlier this month. We're out of them, by the way, now. But the other variegated varieties that are also popular, apparently they don't just have to be green and white striped, but there's other more colorful ones, as you mentioned too, as before we recorded, that could be more pink, red, purple, black, variegated, striped figs.
Yeah, I mean, probably a lot of people, unless they're in a fig world, they probably don't know that there's something beyond a panache. Now, there are figs that start out looking like a panache, and then they go through a change where they turn reddish, kind of with dark purple stripes, and you know, so you could have something that starts out that color, and then it morphs into the darker striped fig, and it's fun to watch, and they're beautiful. I have a couple of them here, and there are quite a few of them. So this one here is basically, I'm going for color here on this tree. So I'm going to have some Scots yellow on it because I really like that one. The BBN, which is another striped fig. And so I just really want to do some color on this thing. And I already grafted the other tree to a whole bunch of different varieties. And so I'm going to stay away from the black Madeira kind of thing, which is I've got on there, where I've got violet, black Madeira, you know, and all the variants of it grafted to that. And I had like a couple of them. I had 2-node pieces, and I grafted them onto that. And you know, Edgar was over here, and actually he grafted them.
Oh, he did it for you. That's cool.
And he took one look at the wood, and he said, "No way," because it was a piece of kindling. But we put it on that, and away they went.
So I just want to show you, like, 2 nodes is just being, you know, between leaf node number 1 and leaf node number 2. So we're talking about like a very small piece of wood, and you're able to now create another branch and another flavor that's now part of this fig tree over here to my right.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And you know, grafting is the way to go. I mean, because how many you know, out here real estate's expensive. So, you know, I mean, how many footprints can you have of a fig tree?
Well, I'm going to be sharing with everybody within the upcoming week or two at the latest, but I've got on my property a 10-in-1 fig tree.
Yeah.
So I've got the green and the black and the brown and the variegated or the tiger panache fig, and then a few other more rare varieties that I've grafted on. The raspberry latte is sitting there on the as one of the 10 branches, and so I'm going to see if I can squeeze in this black Marseilles variety as well onto that 10-in-1. We're going to be doing all that together, like I said, within the upcoming week. But
okay, this is my Figo Preto. It's been in place for 10 years now, and it's been hacked pretty much. I mean, everybody thinks it's kind of a dwarf, but it's not. And as you can maybe see, it's been the vertical growth has been removed to get it to spread out, and it's done a really good job of that. And then, of course, there's been so many cuttings taken off this that it would be much larger if it hadn't been pruned. There's probably been thousands of cuttings taken off this, and I would say probably 500 air layers, so at least. And as you can see, it grows. It has this knobby type stuff, which is very you know, the Black Madeiras and the Figo Pretos do that. There's not any difference in the fruit between the Black Madeira and this. There is a slight variation in leaf, but you know, when they get like 10 years old, all of a sudden, it's, you know, things, they look a lot alike. All of a sudden, this thing puts on a lot of fives, and as opposed to when it's younger, it usually puts on a lot of tries or single lobe leaves. But as you can see, everything's colliding with each other. So we're going to take some cuttings here, probably 15 or 20, and we're going to donate them to the cause, and we'll see what Charles is going to do with them. But yeah, we're going to come in here and clean this up a little bit, and hopefully some of you will be able to get some of these. And you know, it's better to graft these because you just get a higher percentage take. These are very difficult for me to root. I'll admit it. So generally I graft these. Well, I don't graft them because I got so many of these things, but when I want to create a clone, I air layer. So the grafting works really well, and that would be my preferred method on this or any of the Black Madeira family. So that's it.
So Paul is now pruning the Figo Preto. We're going to collect about 15 to 20 of these highly sought after fig cuttings. These Figo Preto cuttings will only be given to those that participate in this year's annual fig cutting giveaway on social media, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, and simply post one of those garden rules. And I'm going to explain all of the rules in more detail towards the end, but you simply post one of the gardening tips from the Ivory Organics YouTube channel on your Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, and hashtag IV Organic or tag us so we can find you. And we're looking for new winners for what's left of this February 2020 year. And every single winner starting with this publication will get a cutting off of this Figo Preto, in addition to one more randomly selected variety. So 2 cuttings to each winner through the social media giveaway contest, and winners are being announced every single day in the month of February. The rest of the contest rules, again, will be published towards the end. And let me give you a tour of some of the beautiful, and some of them are now in bloom, fruit trees that are here on the property. Check these out. This year's free fig cutting giveaway, simply go to ivorganics.com, and there's going to be a tab where you can go to gardening lessons, and you'll find there gardening tips 1 through 10. Simply publish your favorite one or all of them on your social media site, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, and simply include hashtag #IVOrganic and tag us. If the option for tagging exists, tag us so that we can find you to include you into our raffle, our daily raffle. And every day during the month of February, we're going to be announcing our lucky winners for our free fig cutting giveaways, and that's in the Intercontinental USA, shipping included. If you want to still get your hands on these cuttings, we're also including a single cutting, randomly selected, if you purchase one of these bags of the Super or Premium Blend 6 Macros Plus fertilizers, which offer your plants all of the 6 macronutrients, something that most fertilizers don't. Fertilizers focus on NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, but forget about including magnesium, sulfur, and calcium, the other macronutrients that plants need for optimal health. 6 Macros Plus, Super Blend, and Premium Blend during the month of February are discounted, and with every purchase of the 11-ounce bag, there will be one fig cutting randomly selected, and if you purchase the 4-pound bag, 2 cuttings will be included, and there's no limit. So the more bags you purchase during the month of February at the discounted price, the more cuttings will include, and they'll all be randomly selected. So if you buy 2 bags, you're going to end up with 2 different varieties of fig cuttings, and because we want to make sure that we bring that diversity into your home garden as well. Well, let's get to starting our pruning and adding to our collection of fig cuttings for this year's fig cutting giveaway by pruning off of that raspberry latte behind me. Follow me. In the upcoming weeks, we're going to be discussing potting, preparing these cuttings. We're going to be talking about grafting. We're going to be talking about air layering. We're going to be talking about so many gardening topics related to figs. So be sure, if you have not done so already, subscribe and hit that push bell notification to stay connected with us with each educational gardening video that we share with you. So I want to thank again for his generous donation of all of these fig cutting varieties to be a part of our annual fig cutting giveaway. And as always, keep growing with Ivory Organics, and wishing you all happy gardening.